send
This
it out to you,
conference will now be
if
recorded.
which we'll be doing.
Sorry.
If we did really want your feedback. So please, this is better if it's participatory. So what I am going to do today is start by a quick run through of the website we have for ESLTP. Our purpose in creating this website was kind of threefold. First, we needed someplace to house VEDA, so that was the most important feature. Secondly, we wanted a way to prioritize or a way to streamline our ability to get information to you as quickly as you need it. So for example, one of the things we might be doing is creating a guide for VEDA. It would likely be posted on this website, so you always have some place to find it. Don't constantly have to be sending us emails or going out to collect stuff from ICSPS's website. The third thing is that we really wanted to show off what's going on with ESLTP, both to the public, to elected officials, or to other ESLTP sites who might be looking to network and identify some promising practices. So the main page here is pretty simple. We have an introduction about what is early school leaver, then links to the individual sites that are part of your grant requirements for running one of these programs. So you can see we just simply go right over the current sites and then click on it and it would take us right to your link. The easiest way to navigate around the website is this top menu bar here. The About page provides just a little more detail, and this will be something that's expanded after the next program year starts. The Contact is the ICCB contacts for the ESLTP program and the information for those of us here at ICSPS that can be of assistance to you guys. And then we also have ESLTP site contact information for each of the sites. Now, just to reemphasize, we are constantly updating and editing this, so we do know that some of these contacts have changed since our last pass through. So if you are on the website looking at this and you see anything that's out of date or anything that needs to be changed or updated, please let us know. Shoot Brittany or myself an email and we'll get it changed out as quickly as possible. We have some limited information here under our curriculum guidance section. So a skeletal framework of the ESLTP program. This is something that we'll be updating significantly in the future. And then upcoming professional development. As you can see, a bit of this is outdated, but we will be making some changes and updating this as we plan out the the next fiscal year's professional development around ESLTP. So you can always look here, find links to the pages for those specific professional development or registration pages, archived information, that sort of thing will all be posted up here. And finally, the most important thing is the link to VEDA, the database portal, up in the top right corner. So there are two primary ways. Hold on, let me log out here so that I can actually show you the entire process. And what you're seeing right now is a little different from what you'd run into if you were logging in here. So the primary way you'll access the VEDA system is by using that link on the web page, but you could also just type in the URL, which is https://app.esltpillinois.com. So either of those two ways will take you directly here. And then you'll see a login page. If you don't have a login already, it's really important that you contact us with your name and password and that your name and email address, and then we can set up access for you. There's no way for you to create your own account for this website. We have to enable you and give you access and set a user level. But once that's done, you'll simply log into this login page and reset your password to away from the default one that we create for you, which since I'm creating it, it's usually about 30 letters and it's random letters and numbers. So you'll definitely want to use the lost password link to recreate your password. And then you'd simply go about logging in. Really importantly, we've had a couple people let us know that they have some issues with the CAPTCHA thing here, you have to allow this button to load and pop up your caption image. And then use this. Because we have some student information in here, we did add extra levels of security. If you don't go through that process, it will not let you into the site. So this page is just a little different from what you'll see. Essentially, I have access to all of the sites so that I can do some basic data validation. But what you would see is just your site listed, students, and reports. So you'd click either students or reports for your site, and it will take you to our main navigation page for students. There are a few different things that happen on this site, or on this part of the site. The first thing is that you can see a dashboard of all of the students that are currently involved with your program, whether they're active, completed, or inactive. Anyone who has been entered into this system will have a dashboard that shows up here. On that dashboard, you'll see their name, their C activity in progress, and their caddy progress. Now, it's really important that we remember one thing. If you ever log in and can't find a bunch of your records, this system automatically filters your results based on what your last usage were. So if you see where my pointer is right here, you have filter by active, completed, or inactive. This option makes it really easy to toggle back and forth the type of students you want to see. But if you forget that you've left something activated, the next time you log in, that same filter will be applied. So it would be very easy to lose all of your completed students. For example, if you accidentally leave active on, to go back to the main list of all students, all you have to do is toggle off those options. We also have a search feature that you can use here to search for individual students. To add a new student, you just use the Add New button directly under the Students heading. And from that, you'll be taken to the student record screen to fill out all the information for your new student. This screen is actually nearly identical to the screen you would encounter if you are amending a student record, which you do by clicking on their name. The only difference is that all of the information here under student is compiled at once. So you'll be able to see the C, the caddy, and all that student information. I definitely encourage you guys to take a chance to look through the student information on this screen if you get a chance. Please provide us feedback. If there's something that you really need added in here, let us know. If there's some information that we have included that's not real useful or is making it more difficult for you to put the information you need in here, then we can always remove that as well. Oh, sorry. But back onto that main student screen, one of the things I do want you to notice is that when we get into that student record, you'll see the C and caddy events. The dashboard here directly connects to how you filled out that information. So with our test student here, let's go ahead and go to Brittany Boston. You can see under the C record here, if we already have information filled in, she had well more than needed to meet the requirements of the program. But all of that would be listed here. The next section is the caddy, where you can toggle on or off the completed parts of the caddy under both plan and portfolio. But importantly, if you use your drop-down menu, you can also add notes. I would not recommend you copy and paste things like the full resume and cover letter in here, simply because this is an online system, and as secure as we've tried to make it, there can be extra sensitive information in those type of documents, so I would not post them here. Same with something like financial aid applications or transcripts, but you can take notes, highlighting concerns, showing completion dates, all of that, and then when you save the record, those notes will be saved as well. But importantly, these little green buttons here toggle on and off completion, and that translates directly to what you'd see in the dashboard. The caddy information, or the C information above, is directly inputted in the dashboard also. Generally, under our basic info, anything with an asterisk in red is a required field. If you're having any issue with those required fields, again, you can always contact us and we can see what we can do to give you a workaround if it's information that you can't collect. Okay, so the next page I want to show you is how you add C information. So this is the C page. You can see it's very similar to the top part of that student records page, but you need to be navigated to the C option to add new information for the C site. You'll do that by clicking the Add New button, filling out the information that you have here, and then, importantly, you can select to add any students who participated in that activity. When we initially were designing the site, we ran into an issue of you could only create one C opportunity for a student at a time, but quickly realized, for example, if you had a class speaker come in, you needed to be able to toggle on every single person who participated in that once to prevent you from having to fill out the same form over and over again. So we've enabled that. In this case, because we are adding the C for Brittany, she is not under the list here. Rebecca Barber would be our sample student that we could add to that C. Generally, there is also a requirement that the student is an active participant during the time period you select for the C in order to be selected as one of those students. So if you can't find a student who should be there, it's worth checking their student record to make sure that they are toggled on as active. So those are the two major components of the system so far. The last thing I want to show you is our reports page. This is just where we compile all the information possible for all of your student information, all of your information that's plugged in so far, and it's put on this dashboard that we hope is useful to you. You can organize your information two different ways, by providing a start or an end date, or toggling on and off filters for quarters. The quarters, Q1, 2, 3, and 4, will apply only to the calendar or the calendar year that you are in. So I believe currently you'll see, the fiscal year you're in. So currently you'll see Q1 auto changes your start date and end date. Q2, same, and it would just move through the start and end date. So all that can be done either by typing it in yourself or using the quick access quarter options. Currently, we have no way to export this information. So we were notified that the easiest way to do it would just be to create a dashboard that you could fill in, because we do know that you guys are entering information into multiple different systems. And those systems don't always communicate with each other, especially if you have institutional systems, ICCB systems, or other systems. So we did try to find a way to display all this information in an easy way. But if something like exporting a PDF of this really is an essential part of this site and we can't do it right now, please let us know that you have a need for that and we can begin to work on it. But as of now, what we've been directed is just having access to this information would be the most useful. I do also want to point out that only certain types of users can access the report area. So for some of you, you may log in and only see students in C. That's because your user access level has been set below the threshold for accessing the report information. So that's all we've got for the VEDA system and the ESLTP website. I would love it if you guys had questions I could answer here for you, or you had any follow-up information, any requests you'd like to see of the system. So at this time, if anybody has any recommendations or questions, feel free to speak up. Well, I must have just been that thorough then. All right.
Well, and as you guys get into it more, again, I know this is still a fairly new system, and I think we introduced it to you kind of midpoint, maybe further into the year. And so with a fresh fiscal year coming up, as you guys get into it more and you're, entering those students and inputting the data and having possibly working with instructors with it on it as well, if there are things that come up, you can always call, email with any suggestions or comments you have, or if you're finding yourself having issues with certain things, absolutely reach out to us so we can help you with that. And if you have new staff coming on that need access to VEDA, you just email that information. We'll need name and email address so we can add them. And then also what level you want us to add them in. As Casey was saying, there's different levels of access to the program. So how much of the data system you're wanting them to have access to as well. And we can get them on board and into the fun world of VEDA for you.
The other thing that I would like to note is that because we have sort of calendar dates that you can pull information from, if you see information or believe you should have information there that isn't appearing, let us know. We know that was a problem with Iris, and that is not a problem with our system. All of the data is secure in here. It just might be that you're not pulling the right information. So if there's ever anything you believe should be in here that you can't find, let us know, because it's probably easier for us to just pull that for you and then troubleshoot where your particular problem was. Because one of the wonderful benefits of this system is it doesn't reset. Nothing can be lost. The database tracks from the beginning of the time of the site and will never erase anything. So we hope that's one major improvement. But with that said, if for some reason you can't find anything, it's probably just an issue of the access level needs to be changed. So just let us know and we'll get you what you need. All right, well, that's it from me. If nobody has any other questions.
Okay, and if nobody has any questions, I'm just going to keep talking for a little bit. And so if you have questions while I'm talking, feel free to put them in the chat or interrupt me, that's fine. But I did want to do just a little bit of housekeeping. We will take a break from these calls for July and August and start back up fresh in September in the fall. If you guys have any topics or areas that you want to be discussed, please feel free to email those to me. I have a few things in mind as to some of the items I would like to cover. We are in the process of myself, Amy Julian, and Ben McDaniel are in the process of reviewing the RFPs. We have gotten through all of them. I think I have emailed some of the programs just for a little bit of further clarification. So I am optimistic in the fact that we will have information to you within the next week or two as to where everyone stands with that. We also are getting some information ready for the fall early school leaver professional development meeting. We have some ideas in the works and hopefully we'll have that date set sooner rather than later. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. So again, I am back in the office full time. So any questions, feel free to email, call, and that's kind of where we're at right now. We're just ready for the fiscal year to start up and to get things back on track and get going. So if we don't have any questions for Casey, or if you guys don't have any questions for me, we will let you get back to your day. And as always, we are a phone call or email away.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.